You ever wonder why that cup of coffee costs what it does? Or, why you can't just have everything you want? Well, the answers are hiding all around us, right in plain sight. We're going to pull back the curtain on the powerful, invisible forces of microeconomics, the stuff that shapes every single choice you make and the world you live in. All right, let's get into it. First, we're going to tackle a problem everyone has, not being able to have it all. From there, we'll get into the science of making choices, see how prices just sort of appear, and then decode what makes buyers and sellers tick. And finally, we'll check out the different playgrounds where they all compete.
So, let's kick things off with the one single idea that is the absolute bedrock of all economics.
Of course you have. We all have, right? We want more time, more money, more awesome experiences. But that feeling, it's not some personal failure. It's actually the fundamental starting point for thinking like an economist. And here's the core problem. See, on one side, you've got a world with finite stuff. Only so many hours in a day, only so much oil in the ground, only so many people to do the work. But on the other side, our desires are practically endless. And that mismatch, well, that's where things get interesting.
There's a name for this problem: scarcity. And listen, this isn't just about being poor. It affects absolutely everyone, from billionaires to backpackers. Scarcity is just the simple, undeniable fact that we don't have enough stuff to give everyone everything they want. It is the reason the entire field of economics even exists.
Okay, so if we can't have everything because of scarcity, how do we deal with it? Well, we're forced to choose, and every single choice we make has a hidden price tag. Now here's the thing you have to get. The real cost of any decision isn't just the money you spend. No, it's the opportunity you lose. The cost of you watching this right now is maybe the nap you're not taking. The cost of buying that new phone is the vacation you're not booking. That's opportunity cost, and it's the true cost of everything. And we can see this exact idea play out on a huge scale. A whole society can't just produce unlimited amounts of everything. To make more cars, it literally has to make fewer computers. This curve you see here, the production possibility curve, well, that line represents the absolute edge of what's possible. Any point on that line is efficient, but you always have to make a trade-off. So, if we're all constantly making these trade-offs, how does an entire society figure out what to produce and who gets it? The answer is this really elegant, automatic system that just emerges from two forces pushing against each other. So here's the first half of that equation. It's us, the consumers. When we're shopping, we're all looking for a good deal, right? We are the force of demand, and yeah, we want more for less. And here's that equal and opposite force, the producers. They're in business to make money, so they represent the force of supply. And they're always hoping to get the highest price they possibly can. I mean, it seems like a total standoff, doesn't it? It's a fundamental conflict of interest. One side wants the price to go down, the other wants it to go up. So how does this tension ever resolve itself into the actual price tag you see on, say, a gallon of milk? The magic is right here in this graph. You've got the supply curve and the demand curve, and they're on a collision course. They meet at one amazing point: equilibrium. See, at any price above that point, you get a surplus, too much stuff, which forces sellers to drop prices. And at any price below it, you get a shortage, not enough stuff, which lets sellers raise prices. The market naturally pushes itself right to that equilibrium price, where everybody's happy. And that, right there, that is the invisible hand you hear about. Prices are signals. They coordinate the actions of millions of people without anyone being in charge. A high price shouts to producers, hey, make more of this. And it whispers to consumers, maybe use a little less of this. It's brilliant, really. So now that we've seen the big picture, let's zoom in a little on the two main characters in this economic dance, the consumer and the producer, and figure out what really makes them do what they do. It pretty much boils down to this. As consumers, our main goal is to maximize utility, which is just a fancy word for satisfaction or happiness. It's that feeling from the first sip of coffee in the morning. We're all just trying to squeeze the most joy we can out of our budgets. Producers, on the other hand, they're driven to maximize profit. Simple as that. The gap between what it costs them to make something and what they can sell it for. These two simple goals are behind almost everything that happens in the economy. Okay, last piece of the puzzle. These consumers and producers don't just meet up in a void. They meet in different kinds of markets. And the structure of that market, the arena itself, can totally change the game for everyone. Let's just break down these different arenas real quick.
At one end, you've got perfect competition. Think of a farmer's market, right? Lots of vendors all selling identical carrots. No single farmer can set the price. They just have to take what the market gives them. They're price takers. At the total opposite end, you've got a monopoly. One company, one unique product, like your local water utility. They have a ton of control. They are price makers. Most of the real world, though, from coffee shops to smartphone companies, lives in that messy middle, where they compete by trying to make their products just a little bit different.
So why does this matter to you? Because these rules of the game have a huge impact on your life. The kind of market you're buying from directly affects the prices you pay, the number of choices you have, and even how much companies bother to invent new and better things.
And this quote just brings it all home. These ideas we've been talking about, scarcity, opportunity cost, supply and demand, they're not just theories in a textbook. They are the tools we use to understand the actual, real-world systems that every society builds to deal with that one fundamental problem, not having enough.
So, next time you see ticket prices for a popular concert go through the roof, you'll see a shortage at work. Next time you're trying to choose between two brands of cereal, you'll see monopolistic competition playing out. The hidden logic is now visible to you. So what everyday choice are you going to see in a completely new light?